Alrighty guys, today we're going to be checking out the brand new Paco Rabanne 1 Million Royal. So, pretty standard at this point. They've really been ramping up the flanker production on these, and pretty much every year we get to enjoy a new 1 million scent. With that also comes discontinuation of some of your favorite flankers as well. So we've seen this happening going back to most notably probably 1 million Privé. That one I still can't get over. I love that stuff. A lot of you guys do as well. That was discontinued to make room for flankers thereafter. And 1 million Lucky is kind of next up that we've been experiencing as well. That one has been discontinued. They're not producing it anymore. Still showing up here and there on discounters, but it is starting to really dry up. As I mentioned, it's pretty much standard at this point. That's going to continue to happen. Even same with some of the Invictus flankers, right? The Invictus Aquas are gone. Legend, I think, is kind of on the rocks. And Tints is gone as well. So it's just one of those deals where you just kind of have to roll with the punches. We have the new Royal right here. I keep wanting to say Ruby for some reason. We're going to break into this one, see how it smells, how it compares to the others in the line, or just other fragrances in general. And we'll see if it's one that'll be worth picking up once you can get it relatively easy, and especially at a discount. Okay, so here we have the bottle. Looks pretty sharp. I like the red ruby right there on the front. Definitely looks real nice. Kind of separates itself from the rest of the line. Pretty sharp looking bottle. The back does allow you to see the level of fragrance that's left. It's not going to show up on camera, but you can see through it. Some have this feature, some actually do not. But this is one where you can see the remaining amount of this. Pretty nice, pretty sharp. These are fingerprint magnets, so be aware of that. This will probably be the cleanest this bottle will ever be because, you know, that's really all it takes. So let's go ahead and get this one on skin. We'll see what it's all about. Nice atomizer on these. Pretty wide, nice distribution. Opens up nice and sweet. One thing I noticed pretty much right away is it's not nearly as floral heavy as something like 1 Million Parfum. That one was very much focused on the white florals and that sort of thing. It was still sweet, but with a fresher, kind of different take. Personally, 1 Million Parfum wasn't one of my favorites. I much prefer Elixir to that one, which is also very sweet as well, but just didn't have that type of thing going on. This one, you're getting this sweetness, and there are actually some florals in here, like a little bit of a jasmine I'm picking up on right away, but it's very subdued and it's kind of pushed behind all of the other notes going on, just the overwhelming sweetness and this kind of playful type of smell. But I'm also noticing this almost kind of chestnutty, almost chocolatey type of texture or feel. There's something about this going on in there that's kind of behind everything else that gives it this different type of texture that you may not initially expect. And I don't think anything like that is even listed in the note breakdown, which we will check out now. Notes on this one: up top we have mandarin, bergamot, and cardamom. In the mid we have violet leaves, lavender, and sage. And in the base we have benzoin, cedarwood, and some patchouli in here. So the note breakdown itself doesn't look anything out of the ordinary. Those are all pretty standard, you know, nothing too crazy. But again, it doesn't really quite add up to with what I'm smelling fully. Cardamom, maybe a little bit of that warm spice. Kind of a sweet orange to go along with that. But there is this overwhelming sweetness, almost like a vanilla tonka bean, even though they're not giving us that either. Of course, we are getting a benzoin in here, which can kind of factor in as a vanilla type of smell. So some of that for sure, kind of a dustier vanilla going on. The patchouli, I guess, could be what I'm picking up on here. Sometimes, depending on the type of patchouli and how it's used, it can kind of give off almost even a chocolatey smell. Sometimes it can be a little bit earthy. It can be sweet and heavy and dense. It just depends. And that's kind of some of what I'm getting here as well. And you even look at some popular scents like Mugler Angelman. That's a coffee, sweet scent with a lot of patchouli as well. So maybe that's what I'm getting here. Kind of giving off that smell. Some aromatics going on as well. Again, they did list off sage, I believe, so that does make sense too. Although in that note breakdown, no jasmine, no florals at all. Maybe I'll double check real quick, but I don't think I saw it. Yeah, so maybe I'm mis-smelling something there. There are violet leaves. Typically that gives off kind of a fresh ozonic smell. Not getting quite as much of that though compared to some of the others. So really, we're kind of at this point now with the 1 millions where you just expect these to smell decent, to smell nice, and to get compliments. And I can tell you right off the bat here, this is something that's going to live up to that expectation. You know, I think they really did peak with 1 million privé in terms of pleasing the community. And again, there's a big difference between pleasing the community and pleasing the masses, you know, the big market, which is what they're catering to. There's a big difference there. When it comes to the community, you're going to be wanting something that's going to be more unique and brings a little bit more to the table. And that's what 1 million privé did the most. And that's why we still talk about it to this day. 1 million lucky would probably be a close second to that, actually. So at this point, it's kind of one of those deals where you have to accept and understand that you're just going to be getting these scents that are built to cater to as many people as possible. And this type of thing is going to do that. Is this going to smell familiar to you? Absolutely it will. Now, as it sits right now on my skin, it doesn't smell like a clone of anything to me. It isn't necessarily reminding me of any one thing in particular, but it does remind me very much of a genre of scent, which now is kind of that popular sweet men's style of scent that is just so trendy. That's what this does smell like. So it kind of smells like a whole bunch of different things put together is how I would describe it. Now, you're probably asking, okay, why aren't you saying this is horrible? You know, Givenchy Gentleman Society, that one kind of in a similar vein where they stripped it back and it was boring. And there's a reason why, because there is that little factor in here, that little different piece that is making this one stand out. If you take away that kind of, again, to me, it's like a chocolatey patchouli type of smell. If you were to remove that from this would very much be one that I would write off. But there's something about it, just one little aspect, maybe two, you know, that patchouli, chocolatey smell, and then even the cardamom. It's those things there that make this one interesting enough to where when I put my nose to it, I go, okay, you know what? That actually isn't too bad. Doesn't get me super excited. Definitely isn't going to rank super high in terms of my favorite releases of the year. We've had many more that I would probably take over this, and the year is just beginning. But compared to some of the ones that I've liked the least, this is definitely well above those. I like it. You know, there's enough variety of this one. There's plenty of different layers to where it is kind of interesting. One little interesting note as well that I just realized, this is a parfum concentration. Honestly, I did not know that going into this. I was expecting eau de parfum or maybe eau de parfum intense or something. True parfum here, which definitely makes me like it even more already. Now, of course, it'll depend on how this wears further into the dry down hours from now, but I do love my parfums. This isn't quite as heavy as some other parfums. It doesn't quite have that richness. I personally would have guessed that it was an eau de parfum based off of me smelling it right now, but who knows, maybe that extra concentration will help this one go the extra mile hours down the road here. Maybe this will be a super above average performer, but we'll just have to see. So far, it's not too strong in terms of projection. Just sitting right here, I can pick up on it a little bit, but it's definitely not screaming off my skin. And again, due to that higher concentration, generally it will hang closer to you, but it will leave a trail and it will generally last longer for a longer duration of time. So we'll have to see. Quality is fine. Nothing wrong with it here. Not a Chanel by any means, or even a Christian Dior, but it definitely holds its own. And I think once this one is available on discounters for the general going rate of an in-production 1 million scent, it might be one looking into. A little bit of a gourmand aspect out of this one, which I really like. You know, again, that's the only thing that keeps me coming back to this one, is that little tweak there. And I think it was very strategic, because if they were to hone in on that particular accord all the way and ignore everything else, then you would end up with a product that is not going to sell well. I think they've learned their lesson with some of their other flankers that they put out in this line and even the Invictus line. So they're definitely playing it safe. Got to respect them for that. They're a business. They're making money. Might be boring for us, but we have plenty of other things to look forward to. Like I said, this one actually is decent. I would take this over 1 million Parfum, and maybe if I spent enough time with it, maybe I would even take it over 1 million Elixir, which I also like a lot. But would I take this over Lucky or Privé? Definitely not Privé, and probably not Lucky either, but I do like it a lot. So guys, that's going to do it for me. 1 million Royal. not bad. Nice parfum concentration here. Hopefully we get decent projection, or not projection, more so longevity out of this one is what I meant to say. Decent longevity out of it. Then it would definitely kind of boost it up. Not one that I would say most of you are going to want to seek out and track down and purchase overseas at retail or even retail in the United States. Wait for it to hit discounters. There's no rush, and even if you could save a few bucks off of it, you're still wanting to buy it. I think that's the way to go. This isn't so mind-blowing that you need to go stretch your dollar to go buy it right now. Not bad. 1 million Royal. Let me know if you're excited to try this one. If you have tried it, though, let me know what you think. That's going to do it for me. I do have a mailing list you can sign up to, and anytime something rare, hard to find, or just a really good deal comes into stock, I post about it, send it out to my mailing list first, and then I put it up on my community tab after that. The mailing list always takes priority because you guys are signing up to receive those alerts, so I want to get them to you quickly as I can. Even something like Naxos at a discount. Retails for $250, comes in stock on discounters for $180. I send out an email and it flies. Things like that. If you're wanting to get some rare stuff as well, your Blue Electriques, which have came in stock recently, Dolce & Gabbana, the One Luminous Night, even stuff like L'Homme Ideal Extreme by Guerlain and the Eau de Parfum, and even 1 Million Lucky. I've sent out emails for that. So if you want to get the best deals possible, hit that list. First link down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.